I'm so grateful that you'd have me back and thrilled to deliver one of the best and most impactful classes of the month. Hopefully I get invited back. And if you have a really good meeting, it'd be a good place to thank me either on the green sheet or as the sponsor. Those are nice places.
Yeah.
To send thank you notes. That's other people have done it. I'm just saying, just
Right. And I'm certain that you wouldn't turn down any referrals in the greater Nashville area, right?
Also, in fact, one of the things we're going to talk about is our agent network, right? Because 3 of my most active clients came from referrals that I met and from real relationships from all over the world. Believe it or not, one came from a relationship that was in France, that really got cemented on a train, dock, waiting for a train, and that ended up in a big referral. So we're
I
going to
love
talk about
that.
that. Yeah.
All right. Well, take it away, my friend. I appreciate you.
Cool.
Be nice to my friend Alex, people.
Or maybe I won't be back. Well, y'all, I'm thrilled to be here with you. Thank you for investing in yourself and investing in this time. I'm really super passionate about teaching. I'm really super passionate about this. And believe it or not, I know there are a lot of people that have some negative things around Zoom, but let me be one that's not. I think it's super great because I can pop into your all's world, give some world-class high quality content, and I'm doing it from the comfort of my international headquarters, also known as my basement. And you get to do it from your all's international headquarters. And my goal of today is to really give you some real tactical content. The way I teach, the way that I live is pretty passionate and pretty connected and really authentic, right? So I'm going to share right out of the gate one of my favorite techniques that has easily made me the most money in the history of my career. And as I share that, and as you're thinking about it, it's also really important to me that you've invested in this time. I would love for you to post in the chat for me what's the thing you came to get when you saw doubling down with your database, doubling your income and doubling down with your database and digging in. I like those all that analogy is going together. But when you saw that, what's the one thing that we need to deliver for you in the next, hour and a half together? And please put that in the chat for me. That will be super helpful. My number one nugget and tip for you as you go through this is that as you're taking notes, I don't know about you, but I love going to great education and learning things. And when I do, I write down all these great notes. And then life happens, right? It ends and you're really inspired and something happens and we go away. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do is to find those 2 to 3 things that you absolutely will do. And so as you go through and as you find a nugget, or as I say something that really hits home with you, what I call and what I've started to tag that tuning fork in your soul, right? When you hear that and you're like, ooh, that's me. That really connected to me. When when you find that tuning fork moment, really hit on that and go, okay, now I'm going to put this and either put a star on it or flip to the back of whatever it is that you're working on, right? And keep a running list, right? Keep a running list in the back of that. Then when we finish, before you pop up back into life, and we're going to save some time at the end of this to talk about it, we're going to talk about the really big nugget that's what's your takeaway, your personal specific, and my camera just popped out on us, didn't it? Hold tight. Hold tight. Hold tight. Still got me? Hold on. It's coming back. She's coming back. Don't worry. Hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. We'll go this way. Not as good, but we're going to get it done. Okay? Everybody good? Paul, you got me? Thumbs up? Okay, perfect. So sorry about that, y'all. I'm having studio technical difficulties, but you get to see some of my library in this wider angle Zoom. So, and I wasn't kidding, like I'm in my basement, the international headquarters. Okay, guys. So that's a really big, powerful nugget. It was one of the things that I learned at one of the first seminars I ever went to. So as you're taking, as you're taking notes today, be intentional and either star that or keep a separate list. And then at the end of this, we'll go through. I'm also super participatory in my classes, right? So you're here again, you're investing. I don't want to stand here and just talk, right? I want to be here and to be really adding great value and really sharing with you. You came to have big impact here today. And so that's what we're here to do. So all that to say to you, keep loading up the chat. I've only got 3 comments and I see there's like 15 of you in the room. Let's make sure that you jump in there and let me know what it is that you want to make sure that you leave today with. So we are going to talk about database, and that tends to be a want thing, right? Everyone's like, yeah, database, I got it. And I think when we finish today, it's going to be a different, it's going to be a different feel because we make it a little bit more fun and exciting when it's all said and done. So let's see. One of the people, Paul, how to engage the database at a higher level. Okay, Paul, we can make sure we talk about that. Is there, Paul, you can unmute real quick and tell me, is there something in particular you're running into that's keeping you from engaging at a higher level?
Yeah, my drunk monkey, Alex.
Yeah.
So, I've been doing this 18 years, and I think you and I had touched on this once before. So I have a fairly good sized database, but up until about 3 years ago, I didn't spend any time in the database. I was just like always going out, getting the new business, that kind of stuff. We get a referral here and there from a past client, but over the last 3 years, we really started to engage more. It's still somewhat painful for me. And it's just the drunk monkey thing. But last year we took 57% of our business came from our database. So I mean,
Perfect.
imagine if that were 100%. I mean, holy cow.
Wow. Well, it's just so we'll talk about that. We'll see if we can give you some great ideas on how to engage a little more and how to put those negative thoughts, out on the side. So Inez, what do you mean by digging deeper? Well, digging deeper is what we're talking about, right? Dig at a higher level, digging deeper than you currently are is what we're going to talk about. Better ideas and why, right? Why are we going to really give us a plan, show us a real recipe of, somebody's open. Let's see if we can. There we go. Whoever it was.
That might be the market center. Mic is open.
Anyway, it's gone now. So good job. We don't need to, we won't shame whoever that was. Good job. You got it blacked out. So and that's what we're going to talk about, right? That we're going to talk about whatever it is, taking it deeper and doing it more, why to double down on it. And we're going to share some of our results and some of our stories that hopefully will inspire you. Right, that will inspire you and really motivate you, and or make it, as I said, that tuning fork in your soul. Right, what motivates you? So Roxanne put in here, I'm a new agent. I'm looking for finding ways to grow my database and grow your database and find ways to engage client at a higher level and get them to refer friends and family. Fantastic, Roxanne. We're definitely going to talk about that. So I'm super glad you're here, and this will be very, very powerful. Okay, guys, again, there's quite a few of you here. You're missing an opportunity to make sure you get customized training by not putting it in the chat there. And please do put what you want to do, the one thing that you want to make sure we learn in our time together today. So I'm Alex Brandau. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been in real estate for 21 years, over 1,000 closed transactions. I think it's always important to know who you're talking to, right? What are you selling? By the way, I'm not selling anything except being your go-to relationship agent in Nashville and throughout the South. What's interesting, I get connections from everywhere. I get people from all over the country we all connect to people. You may or may not know where Nashville is, within the state. And what's interesting is I have folks from California and Washington and all over the country, and just know that I'm a Tennessee guy. And so they're like, hey, who do you have in Memphis and Knoxville? And those same people reach out for all over. So I want to reciprocate too. One of our 3 pillars of our business is our referral network. And we actually have a agent network referral letter that we use as part of our database. That was a big part of our business last year. So you'd like to be added to that or be on our newsletter that we do twice a month, I'd be happy to include you. Please send your stuff here. But I'm a 6-time MREA agent. And that does not mean I netted $1 million. It does mean that we grossed over $1 million 6 times. And so we're on that path, right? We're on some of the red book as it sits right here on my shelf, right? That think, now gross, and now we're on the path to, to netting. So I'm really excited that we're here to talk about this. And I have built my business over these 21 years completely about, being in the database business. I literally am such a relationship person. I only dated 4 women in my life, and I married 2 of them, and that's true. Not at the same time, mind you. I'm in Tennessee, not Utah. No offense to anybody there, just meant to be funny. But truly, I mean, I stayed in a relationship. I've sold 4 houses to people that I went to kindergarten with. And so we're really, truly, relationship based. And so that's what we're here to talk about, right? This is, talking about your data bank, if you will. Who knows off the top of their head the different percentages when you start talking about why working with a database versus people you have not met? There's 2 different ratios that we talk about often. You can unmute or you can put it in the chat as you choose. Boom, 12-2, Paul Mercer leading the pack today. Well done. Up and 50-1. Boom, he got them both. ROI's good. Gilbert, good job. Thanks for jumping in there. So yes, so if you don't know, the 50-1 ratio talks about the number of people you need to talk to in order to find one opportunity to buy or sell real estate. And often people misunderstand what that opportunity looks like. And that's the ratio that the numbers that we use, the number of talk tos you need to go, hey, how you doing? Do you need to buy or sell real estate? Nope, thanks. Okay, hey, how you doing? Do you need to buy or sell real estate? Okay, thanks. Someone you don't know at all, standing out in front of, your favorite grocery store and asking, hey, do you need to buy or sell real estate? If you do that 50 times, you'll get one, maybe. I've been thinking about it. By the way, that's what a lead looks like. Okay. It's not, oh my gosh, yes. Would you come over tonight and I've been wanting to pay someone 15% commissions and would love for you just to come over right now and sell my house, right? Yes. Thank you for being here. That's not what the lead looks like, right? That's how we think about it in our heads, right? I see some of you smiling, so you must have that same dream. I do too. But I do know that when you go through this, right, when you realize, okay, what does this really look like? It's someone going, well, yeah, I've thought about it. And then now it's our job to go, well, gosh, what are your plans? And we start to really be professional there, right? Turn into some of our skills. The 12-2 piece is the same conversation, number of conversations, and the number of opportunities. So for every 12 people you call that like, and trust, and that know, like, and trust you, for 12 of those conversations, you're going to discover that you're going to have 2 of those, well, maybe, opportunities. And I think that's one of the things that we start there in this conversation, because people don't realize, they're like, well, I made 3 phone calls and nobody hired me. And the reality is that's not enough, right? We're not tracking our business and we're not doing enough business, right? To go through this and to ultimately have and yield the results. And so that may or may not be news informations to you. Yes, that's correct. It's conversations. It's actual conversations. You've got to have real conversations with people in connection, not just attempts at people. So that was one of the key reasons that I got into wanting to do and be a database business, right? I was really focused on being a database business because I was like, gosh, like this is, it was efficient, right? You had a higher percentage opportunity. And that's not to say if you're a world-class door knocker and just knock 50 doors to get that opportunity, listen, free to be you and me, right? If that's your skill set, so be it. This is mine, and it may be part of yours too, right? And that's why we bring this up. And you know, the biggest commission check I've ever seen in real estate came from a guy who literally just grinds and does exactly what I told you, right? He's like, hey, how you doing? My name's Wallace. Do you know anybody that needs to buy or sell real estate? Okay, thanks. And they're like, I'm just calling around. And he's just calling numbers. I mean, not even super strategic numbers. And if that's you and that fits you and that's a tuning fork for you, that's great. This is not your class. And I don't know anything about that. So we'll get you, you know, somebody else. Tell Warren, we'll get you another person in here for that. But understand, like, this is one of the key metrics, right? I wanted to connect to. So again, just a background, like I said, I told you a little bit about us. You know, people people move. Who knows how often people move? National Association of Realtors says there's a certain percentage of, you know, on average, people move every certain amount of years. Yep, boom. All right, jumping in there. You're right. 7 years. That's the number we were going for. So you hear different numbers that it's 5 to 7, 7 to 10. So we're going to go with the common denominator and say 7. Okay, 7 years is a path that we're going to, you know, plan on and focus on and say, okay, so if I talk to my database every 7, you know, multiple times throughout the 7 years, you're just getting in line for them for their next opportunity. And I'm going to give you some real tactics today of what to say and how to say it and how to get in line with them and really to be very strategic, to be the person. You never know where you're approaching them. You might be in year 3, you might be in year 6, you might be at year 6 and 11 months, you know, and that's a real mindset thing. Right? I'm going to tell you some stories today about how I'm in business with a guy right now. It's actually closing tomorrow that is buying a $2 million, was attempting to buy a $2 million property. And I hadn't talked to him in almost 6.5 years. And because of the systems and because of being intentional and following up and saying hello to him, he was like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, we're actually looking. And I was like, well, gosh, can we be involved in that? And he was like, absolutely, for sure. and not only is he buying a $2 million house, he has $1.5 million house to sell, right? That's pretty good, right? I know a lot of people don't like to do public math. However, I love that you're doing those emojis, Ines. Thank you for that. I understand now what the comedians have gone through for the past year, you know, like with horns flashing and lights, you know, going back and forth. So it's harder when you're up here and don't have any feedback. So thank you for that. But I will say that that's part of this, right? That's part of this to really understand where we're finding people on the timeline and what our opportunity is, and just staying connected. If you find them in year 3 and you hold on for 4 more years, you're going to be the one. This particular guy, you know, is buying a, you know, $2 million house. He's going to sell $1.5 million. That's pretty good income, right? By the way, I spent no money on that, right? I don't know if you have one of these. It's a special new tool. They may have these in Florida. I hear they're coming out soon. Y'all got these? iPhones? Got it. Cool. So try this out, right? You can pick this up and you go, hey, how's it going? Right? And being intentional on that call is important, right? Being intentional about reaching out to them and connecting. And, you know, some of the other people say, well, I called everybody. Here's the next trick on database, right? We're big on making these calls. If you're familiar with D2D, D2D is part of our day every day. We make 10, that's called do the 2, if you didn't know that, right? Do the database 2. And what that means is you call 2 letters in the database every single week. Are y'all familiar with this? Is this new information? Okay, yep, I got a couple of head nods. So D2D is absolutely a unbelievable competitive advantage for you in your market. Because I'm going to assure you, new, old, experienced, not experienced, I don't care. You're going to have a competitive advantage over just about every agent in the market when you choose to start reaching out to your people 4 times a year. Is there anybody on this call right now that talks to everyone they know, love, and trust 4 times a year and talk to them about real estate? Nobody? Cool. So let's see if I can get my high def cam going again. Let's try one more time. Nope, she said no. So um, that's that's an important competitive advantage. No one raised their hand. Oh wait, maybe Inez said yes, she does. So Inez, how many people, if you're talking to your database, oh no, she said no. She changed her mind. She went quick. She was quite quick on the trigger on that one. She said, nope, 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 not me. So what we just discovered in a quick survey of your own peers in the market is we have an unfair advantage. And I can tell you in Nashville, there's not a single agent in our market. We have over 10,000 agents in our market. Not one talks to everyone in their database and say, hey, how's it going? Let's talk real estate. How you doing? How can I help you? What do you need? A care call, right? 4 times a year. So number one priority in our particular practice is this every single day. And we do 10 a day. And so also the cool thing about this is it's automatic, right? There's tags you can put in to command that do this automatically. We don't have to pay for any of this. This is simply discipline and drive. Discipline and drive, the willingness to do it and the ability to pick up the phone and make it happen. And you're already paying for your phone, right? You're already paying for your phone. You're already spending time on it. Be intentional to show up and do it and keep the world out. Right? The world will come in and take time away from us and hold that world at bay. One of my favorite influencers is a guy named Tim Ferriss. I'm sure some of you are familiar with him. He's a great podcast guy, has written several books. One of his habits is he turns his phone off, like the cellular off, until he gets through his priorities in the morning. And in Keller Williams, we talk about that, right? We talk about our priorities and our morning energy, right? Our morning energy plan of getting up and exercise and meditating and praying and prospecting and being healthy, right? All before 11 o'clock. And so that's a powerful piece that you may be able to add to your prospecting. And this D2D piece is right there. So all that to say, I really encourage you to think about this. Now, who knows when your results start to show up? When you start a new activity, how many days until you start to see your results? Yes, Paul, you're gonna have to be faster, brother. Takes a minute. Yes, 90 days. 90 days till you start to see your results. So don't be one of those folks that goes, hey, I hosted an open house on Sunday. I got the call at like 1:35. I went over there in my shorts and t-shirt. We all are in Florida. You could probably go in shorts and t-shirts, flip-flops. But, I went over there and just put a sign in the yard and just, I had like 7 people come through, but nobody wanted to buy it. So open houses aren't successful. Like that is a scarcity mindset, right? And if anything, I am a positive person all the way down to my blood type. My initials are AB, and I am AB positive blood type. And so I live and literally breathe it and pump it through my veins to be positive. And so my encouragement to you is really do this and do what you can do. And if you say, man, 10 calls a day, 50 calls a week, wow, that's a lot. I can't do that. Fantastic. I'm not asking you to do what you can do. And if it's 3, do 3. If it's 5, do 5. But start somewhere, right? Don't get ready, get set. No, get ready, get set, go. Get into go. And that's what I'm after for you today, is to get into doing this, right? Get into doing right away. And so that's what I'm really passionate about, is get into start doing D2D. And it's easy. It has the letters. You can have the letters in there that you can call, and then it has a letter to text too. So not only are you calling your database 4 times a year, you're also texting them at least another 4, just checking in. How's it going? And you'll be very, very surprised with this discipline and putting this out, this number one priority in your world of making these calls, stuff will start to come up. You won't see it immediately. But over time, people go like, man, I'm so glad you called. I've been looking forward to you calling, right? It's a really powerful thing, because no one does that. By the way, I don't know about you, but in the past few years, there's a fewer number of people that actually make a phone call. I think that's a competitive advantage, right? there's fewer people that are actually making the phone call. So you make the call, and if they don't get there, you can voice text them, send them a voice text through it, or text them and say, hey, I was just trying to catch up. When can we talk this week? And off you go. You turn the page to the next one. So literally, you could spend the first hour of the day every day with no distractions and make sure that this happened in your world. Where would you be? Right? Where would you be? These 10 calls, right? You could do it, and it doesn't cost you anything. And these are the people that know you, like you, and trust you. Now, again, let's talk about the 12 to 2, right? That means the 2 opportunities in these 12 calls, that means it's either something they're going to buy or sell, or they know someone that's going to buy or sell. Okay. Either way, both are really good opportunities, and they're real leads for us, right? So, um, think about that as you go through, right? Think about as you go through this, and why the database. This is a big key. One of the things that we hear all the time: how do I grow my database? Well, you grow your database, and someone put that in the chat earlier, right? How can I grow this? Well, it needs to be personal, right? It needs to be authentic. No one really likes to be compartmentalized and just part of it, right? We all know, right? Every one of us gets those AI texts. It's like, hey, I'm going to make an offer on your house today, right? And they don't get it. Has anyone not gotten one of those? If you haven't, right? But we all know when it's impersonal, right? And it's Alex with a Z instead of Alex with an X or whatever. We know that. So I think it's important to make it personal, really care, really connect, and find reasons to really connect to them. So that's what we're going to talk more and more about. That the people also do what I call the buddy call. And for me, I think that's the other mistake, is when they make this call and they're calling people, it's like, hey, buddy, how are you? And you spend 20 minutes catching up. And then they go, yeah. So it's been really good talking to you, Paul. But listen, I got to go. And you go, oh, hey, yeah. But by the way, before you go, do you know anyone that needs to buy or sell real estate? And they're like, nope, got to go. Thanks. Now, Paul's smiling. Clearly, that's happened to him, right? And it happened to me, right? I was being the buddy, and I was listening to all that stuff. So we're going to turn that on its head real quick, right? We're not going to be buddy. That's not professional, right? So when you make the call, it's Paul. Hey, man, what's up? It's Alex. Hey, listen, I got a couple business questions for you. Do you have just a second? Cool. I'm excited. Let's talk business, and then we can catch up. Is anyone not able to do that? Cool. So it's super simple. It's just a mindset thing, right? You think, oh, I'm calling them to be their buddy. Are you calling them to be their buddy, or are you calling to prospect? I think people really appreciate it when you're like, hey, real quick, I've just got 2 quick business questions for you that I want to ask first, and then we can catch up. And then you're good, right? Then your priorities are there. Then you don't get you don't get sucked into a 25 or 30-minute conversation about someone's dog's toenails that you didn't really want to hear about in that time, right? And the other exit is if you get into that and they're like really going, you're like, hey, I would love to catch up more. I'm super focused on a project right now. Let me call you back this week. And that keeps you in the game, right? I think that worked. I saw a lot of people start writing that down, so that was good. So right. That's the magic of this. That's the magic of this, of the database. Is like, you can connect, you can be intentional, but then you get to schedule a call. Let me schedule time. I'm right here with my calendar. What's better for you? Wednesday at 2 or Thursday at 3? Great. I'll talk to you then. Bye. And turn the page, right? If you're going to get these calls in, right? If you're going to do 10 calls in 1 hour, how many minutes do you have per call? It's public math. I understand. 6 minutes, right? 60 minutes. If you're going to make 10 calls, you have 6 minutes. You can be very intentional when you're making your database calls and put a timer in front of you. Put a timer on your computer, put a timer on your phone. Keep those 6 minutes on there, and that's why you're focused, right? Put that on there. There was a time that I had one of those. Everybody's seen, if you watched the Queen's Gambit and you saw those little clock things. I had one of those chess clocks that I would keep me on. We happen to prospect 2 hours in our company, but I would do it and I'd go bing, bing, bing. And, and the timer would go off every 6 minutes. We used to prospect with my entire team, and we had a 6-minute timer on an iPad, and it was a countdown. And every time we'd hear it and we'd go, and it'd go, da, 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 and you'd be like, what is that? And you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot. I have an appointment. I got to go. I'm going to call you back. Bye. Boom, off the call. Now you write that down that you got off abruptly, right? You get back to them clearly, right? But you understand there's a big difference when you show up like that, right? When you show up like that and you go, hey, I'm really focused on a project, but I got 2 questions for you. And then you can really get into it and go a little bit deeper. Is that valuable? Yeah, like that idea? No one's literally jumping up and down. That's okay. But we'll get you one that we jump up and down with before we're all said and done. Okay, so 90 days, show up, script tweak, right? Be careful not to be buddy. Being buddy is a challenge, right? Don't be buddy. Be professional and say, hey, I've got 2 quick business questions, and then we can catch up. Love that script. It's always one that we end up, being authentic. One of the things when you call, how's it going? Talk to them, be real, but also like, who is it that you know? Anticipate the no too, right? The immediate action is going to be, no, I don't know anyone. And then anticipate that, prepare for that, jump back in and say, hey, you know what? Actually, I hear that often. Who is it that might be at church or work or school? And I tell you what, don't give me an answer right now. Let me follow up with you in 2 days. Would that be okay? I know I caught you off guard. Wow. All of a sudden that feels different, right? That's a different kind of conversation when we jump in on that. And so don't just march to get the no's, right? Well, I call those guillotine moments, right? You've got to put your head in the guillotine and like pull the rope. You're like, go ahead and cut my head off. Like, that's not what we're there for. You might have caught them, anticipate them being like, I'm super busy, I'm picking up the kid. Like, don't call at 3:00 when people are picking up children, or doing whatever in the midst of the day. Well, I can't talk in the morning. Fine. You can do this prospecting anytime you want. It's about who you're calling and how you're connecting to them. Okay. All right. Any questions at the moment? Let me take a break and get a swig of water. Any questions that have come up? Any ideas that we need to make sure we discuss or things we clarify real quickly?
In the script, you mentioned you have 2 quick business questions. Like, so what are the quick business questions? Sorry, this is Inez.
I see you. So what are the 2 quick business questions?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? So listen, I wanted to talk business for a second. 2 quick questions.
Mhm.
Hey, what are your plans for real estate?
Okay.
So Inez, you can role play with me real quick, right?
Yep.
So Inez, hey, it's Alex Brandau calling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love your little emojis. It's so great that we're connected. Hey,
Thanks.
I have 2 quick business questions for you. Can we talk?
Okay.
Quick?
Sure.
I want to catch up, but I just want to make sure. I was calling to talk business. So
Mhm.
listen, I just wanted to know, do you have any real estate plans this year?
Oh God. No, I haven't thought of it.
Right? So not moving your personal house, right? We sold you that one 2 years ago. You're still good?
Right. Yep. Exactly. Love it.
Cool. So what about investment property? Is that in your plans?
Actually, it is. I was thinking about probably in about the next 2 years investing in like
Really?
a duplex or something. Yeah.
Cool. Is there someone
Yep.
you're following there, or like a friend that did that and had some success?
Just what I'm seeing. Yeah, I know a few investor friends, they're doing it, but they're doing Airbnbs. I don't really want to do that. I just want to kind of do like a fix and flip and
Yep.
and then rent it out.
Cool. So a little value add duplex. I love that.
Yep.
The Burr method, huh? BURRR. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's like me. I wear a bow tie, but I know about some Burr method. Well, listen, I tell you what, I'd love to sit down and let's plan a coffee next week and talk about that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, done. Right, boom. Right, like she said yes. Set the appointment. Duh.
Yeah.
Like, right, like don't. No, there was no reason to go anywhere else. Right. So there's 4 things here. Let's get. This is getting really tactical here, guys. So when you're making that call, the 2 things are simply: do you have plan? What are your plans? And who do you know that has plans? Now, I'm going to teach you a trick that is a little sneaky, but it is intentional. It's not gross sneaky. Like I'm wearing a bow tie, like, right? Like I'm a bow tie guy. Like we're not doing really terrible, mean things. But you have to prompt people just like I did, right? With Inez, right? With Inez, I prompted her to go, oh yes, actually, I've been thinking about that. They don't know. It's our job to do it. One of my favorite analogies that I talk about all the time as I teach, all over the country and the world for that matter. And when we do it, it's like, who goes in? Does anyone hang out in furniture stores? Right? Do you go to the big, huge, massive square footage, 20,000 feet and just hang out in there? No, of course not. No one does. And all of doing this, tens of thousands of people that I've taught and trained over the years, I can assure you that I have found 3 people that actually hang out in furniture stores, and they were weird because one of them owned a furniture store, the other one just really likes fabric samples or something. And so whatever, that's just strange. But again, I hope that was funny, but I don't know. The 4 of you I can see smiled a little, but so all that to say, truly, what do we say when we walk into a furniture store? Hey, how you doing? Just looking. We are liars. That is not true, right? Every single one of us that walks into a furniture store and you're smiling and I see it and I know that you have. Hey, y'all, how you doing? Yeah, we're just looking. Like, no, you're not. No one walks in a furniture store just looking. Everyone walks in a furniture store for a specific reason. I'm here to buy a bed. I'm here to buy a couch. I'm here to buy bar stools. And by the way, just so you know, I freak people out when I walk into shop because I'm a good salesperson, right? And they walk up to me, hey, can I help? And I'm like, yes, you can. I need this and I need it in 30 seconds. Hurry up. And they're like, whoa. Like, right? If you ever host open houses, just so you know, they're not just looking, right? That's not a thing either, right? Oh, we're just neighbors. We're being nosy. Wrong. They are a future seller. Like that is not true. 97% of people that go in open houses do a real estate transaction in the next 12 months. So the trick to this is 4 things, right? What are your plans? And who do you know that has plans to do real estate this year? Okay. Now that's the 2 questions. The prompts you heard me do is, what are we going to do? Are you going to change personal houses this year? No. I'm good. We're good. Great. What about investment property? Great. What about a vacation property? Something for fun. Mountain house, Florida house, beach house, island house, right? Condo, ski cottage. What is it, right? What is it that you're going to do? And what about something for your business? Now, you do those 4 things, very simple as your prompts, and you really end up with 8, right? Because the first time you go through it with Inez, hey, are you selling? Nope, not going to sell. I'm here. Good, great. 2, what about investment? Nope, never want to own investment property ever. Great. 3, where are you going for fun these days? Well, oh my gosh, I'm going to, this is where I'm going. Cool. Let's talk about that. 4th, what about your business? Is your business going to do any real estate? Now, if you're not a commercial agent, clearly we're not going to do that and don't have any experience, but it doesn't mean you can't find and identify great opportunities. Let me also be clear about all of the opportunities. What is the absolute best and easy money in residential real estate? It's one of my favorite things for new agents, especially.
Referral.
Referral, that's right. Somebody coming off the top rope. Well done. So referrals is exactly right. Why? Because when you find the opportunity anywhere in the world, commissions are always negotiable. But typically, with a name, phone number, and email of someone being interested, any agent in the world is going to pay you 20 to 30%. Yes? Is that pretty common? Absolutely, right? If you call me in Nashville, I promise you, we got your back. It's going to work out, but just about anywhere else. So don't have a limiting belief of, hey, I'm new to the area and I don't know anybody. That's not true. That's not true. There are at least, 200 people on your phone that you know from life all over the world, right? And so by choosing to go, what are you doing? And they're like, dude, you call someone in Breckenridge, and they're like, man, it's awesome in Colorado. You know, I'm doing good in Florida, but you can find that opportunity, right? You can find, all you have to do is uncover the opportunity anywhere in the world. And so that's the thing that I'll tell you the story really quickly. I had the privilege of, through a relationship, teaching a class just like this. I got to be a presenter and taught a class and was a main stage presenter for Family Reunion France last year. And it was an amazing opportunity. And I got to go all because of because of doing this kind of class. Exactly. And I was doing it in my local market center. The types of opportunities that we have in our company, I was doing it in a local market center just 20 minutes from the house. I taught it. The person that facilitated it ended up getting a job and becoming a team leader for all of Maine, called me, loved the class, said, would you come do it in Maine? And I said, yes. And I went and did it in Maine. And then she got a job in France and said, I'm doing this thing. I need a American millionaire real estate agent. Would you please come be our thing? And I got to do that. And it was amazing. Super glad we did it because it was in January of 2020 and 2020. And we all know where we've been. And so it was quite an adventure. I also had the exciting and challenging opportunity to teach a class while we were there, which was wonderful, but very challenging on a translator when I was on a translator. And as you all can tell, I teach with a lot of energy and quite quickly, and I had to slow down. The reason I share that with you is not for my own hubris, but it is for me to share with you how much opportunity we have right now today. There's connections and opportunities right now today to get you anywhere you want. I literally became an international speaker and a main stage important speaker in front of 1,500 people in Europe across 14 countries because of teaching 20 minutes up the road. That's amazing, right? And because of doing that, going on a tour with some Keller Williams agents while we were there, some people we spent some time with in Versailles, I've got a referral right now from an agent in her office. So that's how powerful our company really can be. We really take advantage and really spend time and effort and energy on staying in relationship. So I hope that's inspiring. It's intended to be inspiring to see a path, not just, well, I'm going to be an agent and like, I'm going to give this guy who's walking around, you know, Family Reunion in a captain's outfit, you know, or the cell phone guy, you know, whatever, you know, whoever that is, like, but really finding someone and really connecting and really building real relationship. That's important. Is that good? Exciting? Yeah. Inspires you? Think about that. Think about all those opportunities with those agents and with all of your clients. They're like, hey, I've got to sell something in Oklahoma. Fantastic. I'm part of the biggest sales force the world has ever known or will ever know. I am sure I have a partner that I can connect you with. Let me get back in touch with you. Right? And then you can call me or you call, you know, talk to Warren or talk to anyone, you know, in your market center that has a real relationship. This is a relationship-based person. Those are amazing, amazing opportunities that are just sitting there waiting for us to do it. Again, for some of you that are newer agents, I firmly believe that's the easiest and fastest money in residential real estate. I teach my agents that in my company that you want to go do it. You can't wait to go see houses. You can't wait to go do all that. I know, but the best money is referring someone else that's already good at it. Because you're going to get 25% of it and you can continue to learn, continue to build opportunity together. Cool? All right, let's turn the page. Everybody good? Still holding in? Good stuff. So script tweak, we talked about that. Buyer questionnaire, let's talk about this. There's another really nice tool within the database. And when there's a great, you know, that we have that's called our buyer questionnaire, right? It's in Ignite. And there's something I always talk about that was a big journey for me within KW. And when you talk about scripts in general, and since we've talked about a handful of scripts, I think it's really important that we talk about this right now, is that the scripts are scripted for a reason and in a specific way. And realtors in particular, we love to jazz things up, right? I'm going to make it me. It doesn't sound like me exactly, right? So I'm going to change it just a little bit. And I get that. right? Like I'm an agent. I want to make it sound like me and I want it to be authentic. However, my caution of that is if you're going to change it, make sure you ask someone first. Don't just do it. Just this weekend, one of my buyer's agents was following some of our scripts and decided on his own accord to change a script that actually kept him from getting leads. He was walking around asking people at an open house, hey, how you doing? How many offers have you made? It's crazy out there, right? The highest I've heard this weekend is 18 offers. How many have you had? And I said, that's great. He was so proud of it. And I said, let me ask you something. How'd that turn out? He said, good. I said, how many names and phone numbers and emails did you get? And he's like, oh, I didn't reach my goal, right? He was supposed to get 2 good names and phone numbers and emails of people that he could follow up with forever from his 2 open houses this weekend. Why didn't he get them, y'all? You can talk or text, either one you choose. He changed the script. That's right. And why? He was answering his own question, right? He answered his own question. How many offers have you written? Oh, I already talked to somebody that's had 18, and people was like, well, I haven't written that many, right? Also, exactly right, Roxanne. He was making it feel hopeless. How is he going to solve that problem? In this environment where it's competitive, that's just what it is, y'all, right? It's just going to be, we are going to make, just so you know, we're going to make 10 to 12 offers before we get the one that you want. And that's okay. That's just what it is. No big deal, right? Stop playing into the emotional side of this. They're already emotional. They don't need us to be emotional, right? So when you do that, and he did that, and he doesn't know, right? Because he's brand new, and he's like, oh, I thought it was such a good idea. I was like, it was, but you killed it. Right? You brought it up and killed it and said, because now you're saying, yes, it's super competitive. Write an offer with me, by the way. And then when you don't get it, then he gets kicked, right? Like he has no opportunity. The better question is, hey, how's it going? How's your search going? How are you getting into the homes you want to see? Right? What's frustrating you about the market today? Those are open-ended questions that are going to give you opportunities to answer. So when we're calling our database, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the same thing. What are your plans? We didn't say, hey, are you going to sell your house? Can I list your house? You say, what are your plans? Right? And the plans is open-ended, and all of a sudden, blah, 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 right? They go with a whole bunch of stuff. The other key pieces, your primary investment, fund, business, you can flip that on the other side of who do you know that needs to buy or sell? Who do you know that buys investment property? Who do you know? And now, I think it was Roxanne that asked earlier, how do you grow your database? I just heard 8 different asks to grow your database, right? From people that know you, like you, and trust you. One of the questions I get asked most often in one of my other classes I teach a luxury class. It's called The Path to Luxury. And it's how over 36 months we tripled our average sales price. And we went up, we cut our transactions down and increased our GCI by doing bigger deals. And in that class, people go, how do I break into luxury? How do I start doing bigger deals? And the answer is the same. Is it's asking the people that you know, like, and trust, right? It's through the people that you know. Again, another fun story. We're in Nashville, right? We're an entertainment city, and there's lots of celebrities and country music people and entertainment industry people. And we've worked with a lot of those people in my company too. And some of them I can talk about and some of them I can't because I think they own some of my children or get my dog or something. I don't know. But there's a lot of requirements that I lose if I talk about it. But I was at an event recently and a young lady was like, oh my gosh, she's not from Nashville. And she says, you know what? I can't wait till I get my hooks in this agent or this person, this artist. And the funny thing was I was sitting in the room and she didn't know it, but there was someone in the room who knows that artist. And she was talking like that. And so she says, hey, she's like, I can't wait to get my hooks in him. She said it like that too. Not all of us talk like that. And But she did. She's like, I'm gonna get my hooks in him. And I was like, and I pulled her aside at the end and I said, I want you to know something. You're missing a major opportunity. She says, what do you mean? And I said, well, you're sitting here. And I know for a fact that there were 2 people in the room today that are 1 degree away from him. But because of the way you said it, you're absolutely not going to get that opportunity, right? The way you said it, they're not going to tee you up. So the script is very, very important, right? As I'm showing it with her, as I'm showing it with my own buyer's agent, and as I'm expressing to you all, be very intentional. You don't jazz it up and make it you until you know why. So talk to someone else in your market center. You can call me or text me or email me, whatever you choose, and I'll help you, say, well, hold on, why did we do that? With my buyer's agent in particular, what he should have done is saying, hey, I'm having a contest. Please write your name and number. We've got a $25 Starbucks card for everyone today, and we're going to give a little comfort and joy, a little caffeine uptick for the person that's written the most offers in the market. Put your name and number in there, and the number it is in the fishbowl. We're going to do it by the end of the weekend. Thanks. By the way, how's your search going? Right? It's just another hook in the deal, right? You're just looking for an opportunity to get their name, phone number, and email to contact them, and you get to pick. Right? If you really wanted to, if you got 30 people that put it, you could give out 30 different Starbucks cards. If it was a good opportunity, right? You can call the one that won, be authentic. But that was the missed opportunity, right? The missed opportunity. So that's the trick, right? That's the trick as you go, be intentional. In the buyer initial consultation, the initial questionnaire, right? For 2 years, I was using that form and I would take it with me. And those of you, depending on your different personality types and how you work and what you do, I'm a big fan of having a script, right? Having an outline. Right now today, I have an outline of what we're going to talk about to make sure this is super valuable for you all and the intentional things that we're going to share. When I want to make sure we do that, we follow the script. What's your name? Okay, great. What's your best email? Okay, great. And then the next question on that Ignite is, what's your price range? Who knows what the second question is on that form? I'll be really impressed. I didn't ask the question for many, many years. The second question on that form, I'll give you just another second. The second question on the form, it says your price range. The second question is, what's the absolute most you will spend? And I didn't ask that question for years. And I bet many of you don't either. Now that we ask the question, 50% of the time, the numbers don't match. The numbers don't match. Hey, what's the price range you're looking at? 350 to 550. What's the absolute most you'll spend? $1.6 million. What? That is not the same stuff. Like, wow, this is really important. We need to talk about this. Because if you show them 350 to 550 stuff, but they have $1.6 million mindset and budget, you're not going to be successful. And you won't know it, but you'll think they're unrealistic. And in reality, you committed malpractice, right? You committed malpractice because you didn't go through the process and go, hey, how you doing? What happens at the doctor's office, right? Even the Minute Clinic, you walk in and go, hey, how you doing? What brings you in today, right? How have you been feeling? Have you been giving a temperature? You've got to diagnose, take in some information. What's your price range? What's the most you'll spend? Oh my gosh, really? Wow, that's amazing. Okay, let's talk about that. 50% of the time, you guys, in our company, it's not the same thing. 50% of the time. Most of the time, it's on the higher end of the budget, right? And they go, well, we don't really want to do it. Most people spend their budget, almost always. It's just the way it is, right? We push the budget typically. So if you're not asking that question, that's a key question to start asking when you're having those initial consultations, because you might be losing people, right? You might be losing people because you're showing them 350 to 550, but in reality, they have a different budget. That cool? Good stuff? Years I didn't ask that, right? Why did I do that? Shame on me. Shame on me for not asking someone. I would never ask that question. If someone told me, like I'm telling you, I'm doing this because 50% of the time, it's something we need to look at to keep from committing malpractice and losing a client that someone I know and love has trusted me with. Now we're having a different conversation. Yeah. So buyer questionnaire, big fan of that. So one of the things you can also do if you haven't ever done a calculation on your database, right? One thing we can do, again, I know it's public math, and I'll guide you through this at 10,000 feet. And we can get really specific as we go. But depending on your number of people that you actually know and have in your database, you can figure out annually how much opportunity you really have. And if you're in MAPS coaching, we do that all the time. In MAPS coaching, I am a MAPS client. I'm not a MAPS coach by any means. But I do have been through the process several times with people, and figuring out what's your database worth is one of my favorite and most exciting things to figuring out how much is my database really worth. So if you have however many people you may have in your database, you can take that and calculate it out, right, over the average sales price in your market. And you can figure, right, how many of them are going to buy or sell on the 12-to-2 ratio every 7 years, and how much opportunity is in your database. And so again, often I get asked when I'm teaching classes, how do I grow my database? You might not need to grow it. How do you know? You might be able to reach your goals with all the people you already have that know you, like you, and trust you. What you need to do is dig in deeper. That was awesome. I just did that on the fly. That wasn't in the script. I can show you the script, I promise. I did, like, that was amazing. I'm so glad this is being recorded because I need that back. But that's going in for the next class. But that worked out really good, right? Digging in deeper. Everyone wants to grow. Everyone wants the new. Everyone wants the person that's 6 years and 11 months as the lead, right? We've got to shift our thinking around this. Shift our thinking around this about putting up a wall around our database, that just because you found someone at year 4 does not mean that you're not their agent, right? Do you know the percentage of people that say at closing they would work with the agent, and what percentage actually do? So there's a percentage I'm looking for that people say at closing that they would work with the agent that sold them the house, and then the percentage that people actually do work with that agent. Boom, 75 and 18, 79%. Yep. So thanks for participating in the chat, y'all. So yeah, the numbers that I've heard is that 70% of people at closing say that they would work with the agent that sold them the home. And I've heard less than 10% do. So that's going to be a wake-up call on 2 fronts for you. Number one, if you're an established agent with experience, understand you think they're absolutely going to come back to you. And I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 don't. So it's our job to stay in touch with them. Really good way to do that would be D2D, right? Because it's automatic. You call them, how's it going? What's going on? And you can add to your world with that call. By the way, have you done anything to the house? Yes, I have. I just had an amazing central heat and air guy come to the house. Central air is really important, right? In your market. If you have an amazing central, air person, oh my gosh, I need that for my people. Who is it? Now you're growing it, and 2 more calls from now, someone's going to go, man, my heat and air is about to go out. Oh my gosh, I just got a referral from someone else. They're great. Be that connector. Be that integral part of people's lives, that you're that connector with them. But connecting like this and being thorough in the process is absolutely critical, right? Go through that. What's going on? What have you done? How's the house? What are you working on? What do you want to do? Do you need anything? You might create and add value by making the connection, or you might add the value by adding to your own world, right? To your own connections. That's a powerful piece. So that's the first thing, right? Established agent, experienced, you've got closings, you think they're coming back. They will if you stay in touch. And there's more easy ways to do it than ever before. We're more connected than ever before. And yet we're also less connected. because we're not reaching out, because we're not being intentional, because we're not giving it the time that it needs. Yeah. So that's my nugget for you. That's one of the nuggets. If you're the other way, you're brand new and have absolutely no closings, but assume every person you know that owns a house has an agent and is going to work with them, we've just gotten rid of that objection, right? So no more reason to wait back. 9 out of 10 of them are not going to work with that person because we've already established no one on this phone call, on this call today and in this class calls their clients every single month, every single year, 4 times a year to stay in touch with them. No one does. So we'll just start that simple habit and you'll catch them wherever they are in year 3 and year 4 and keep asking the questions we've talked about. Boom, you're in the game, right? And you'll uncover someone like I did, just going along and going, oh yeah, man, I'm definitely looking, right? We uncovered 60, 45, like almost over $100,000 in commissions from it looks like from the air, right? We just pulled it out of the air. The reality was it was the system that caused it to do that. It wasn't accidental, right? You could choose and say that it was accidental, but we pulled over $100,000 in commissions out of the air and have done an amazing job for him on a terribly turbulent conversation, right? So that's the key piece that to really anchor. And I'm going to show you another really good story here before we end up how a $60,000 condo took us to a first round NFL draft pick. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But is this good? Are we tracking? Are we still having good value? Everybody tracking right along? I don't think we've lost too many people, so we're rolling. Okay, good. I got some thumbs up and some head nods, so we'll keep on going there. Great. So thanks, y'all. It's it's fun when I'm talking to myself, So it is fun. So thanks for your comments and your emojis because that helps as we go. So talking to your people 4 things a year, that one thing, right? That one thing of talking to your clients 4 times a year, super, super easy. You can commit to 2 hours a day to making those calls. It's not a problem, right? So again, who do you know? We talked about the personal questions, right? Any questions about that or how to do those calls or any little things laying in your head? You're like, if I call, I'm going to get this objection. Any objections that are sitting there? You can add those if you have an objection as we go. Paul, I kind of know them. I don't want to say that I know that person. I've had a couple people ask some specific folks that I can talk about. I can say that I am not restricted in saying that I know those people. However, I would love an introduction if you know, or if you're just a fan, that's okay too.
Well, we need to chat then, but it's kind of like a roundabout way, but we'll
That's
chat.
okay. I'm not roundabout has made lots of money. So I love working with the artists. They're some of my favorite. The football players are fun too, and hockey and all that is fun. I see you, Jason, sitting there lurking, but it's fun. It's fun to jump in there and talk about some of those guys, but it's also I love it because of the service side of it, because some of those folks really need it and really need our service and our professionalism and things like that. So, well, let's jump into another thing that you can do on the call, right? There's another book. I love books, by the way. If you can't tell, I've got a whole bunch here, and then look, I'll step out of the way. I got more behind my chair, and there's a really old book that's called the McKay 66. The McKay 66 is something that we use in our database. It's really interesting. It's about a guy named Harvey McKay who bought an envelope company, like mailed envelopes, right? Like this, right? Like an envelope. And he had 66 items that it was his goal to connect with his people and know this much about them. How deeply in relationship could he be? Now, here's the really exciting thing. I assure you, none of you are excited about your envelope supplier. I'm pretty sure almost no one can name their envelope supplier. However, he built a super powerful, very, very profitable company because he was so deeply in relationship with his clients, because he had these 66 different items that he went to know and wanted to know about his clients. And so I encourage you to look at that book. I think one of them is called How to Swim with the Sharks and Survive, Harvey Mackay, and it's in there. And you can Google, the Mackay 66, and you'll probably find somebody's form. If you can't find it, email me like I say, if you've commented in the chat, we're going to connect with you and reach out, and we can talk about where our favorite channels are to stay in touch. And I can send you ours. We have the Mackay 66 all typed out, but it's really unique, special things. It's things like, where did they go to school? Where are they from originally? Did they have military service? Was it an honorable discharge or dishonorable discharge? Do they like to talk about it? Do they not? What's their favorite drink? Or do they not drink? These things matter. For example, I don't often drink. That's just a personal choice because I have a pretty low filter anyway, and I will just come really completely no filter when I drink. That's just a personal choice that I have. I also just don't like the way it makes me feel. And so it's funny, I get all the time, 4, 5, 6 times a week, someone's like, hey man, let's get together and have a beer. And I'm like, cool, yeah, let's do that. And we'll pivot to something else. And it turns into lunch or this or that. But I immediately know that they don't know that much about me, right? They don't really know that I don't do it. No, I don't care, right? That's my personal choice. It doesn't really matter. But think about that little subconscious thing that happens, right? That you're like, hey, you're just assuming that. What if we don't? What if we do? I don't know. What if there's some other thing, right? If you find out that it wasn't a good, someone went to college and it wasn't a good experience, and you don't need to bring it up. I did it recently with a guy that went to West Point, and he went to West Point, but he didn't graduate from West Point. It's kind of a big deal because he was there for 4 years and got hurt in football, and he ultimately couldn't pass the physical. Dude, that super sucks. That's a terrible thing. And my silly self was like, walked right into that. I was like, oh, let's talk about West Point. That's amazing. And he was like, yeah, it was, but I didn't graduate. I was like, cool. I'm a jerk for bringing that up. Right. And so you just don't know, what kind of pets do they like? Do they not like pets? Right now in this world, what kind of communication do they like? Do they prefer text? Do they prefer phone calls? Do they prefer whatever? What is it? All of those little things matter. And so the Mackay 66 is a very powerful tool that we use in our database. And every time we can find out something that can be just a little nugget of a wow, we put that in there. What's their favorite snack food, right? If we remember somewhere in the process that their favorite snack food is Cheez-Its, and we put Cheez-Its in their house, and it's the first thing that they see in their house when they move in, that we put in 5 boxes of Cheez-Its for them to move in there, do you think we have a raving fan forever? You think I'm going to have a better than 10% chance of being their realtor forever? You betcha, right? So that's one of those things, right? That's one of those nuggets that you can be like, wow, let's talk about this. Sam's mentioned in the chat, traveling, for sure. People will explode and talk about travel. Can't wait to talk about it. There's some things that people do and don't want to talk about. And so you have to know that. But that's one of the things that you can do. What am I doing? Why am I doing all these calls? You're looking for these nuggets that you can layer in to surprise and delight and to really wow people over time. Yeah? Makes sense? So that Mackay 66 is a great book. It's a little difficult to find. Let me see if I've got one to show it to you. I'm looking for it. It's usually really close, but I don't see it right offhand. Again, you could probably find the 60 the questions out there. Again, if you can't, you can send me a message on Instagram, or I'll give you my email here in just a minute too, and we'll get connected there. So the Mackay 66. Again, when you're in that call, you know the acronym FORD, right? Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. I teach this to my children. I teach this as a great sales technique. Just whenever you're in conversation, getting to know people more. One of the biggest challenges in sales, what do you think one of the biggest challenges to sales is? Thinking about it? Give me a second to do it. Asking for the business, competition, listening more than talking. Well done, Nancy. That's what I was looking for. Closing is also right, and all those are right. What I was looking for, though, is listening. Well, realtors like to talk, right? How you doing? Good to see you. I'm a realtor. We like to talk. And so one of the things that people often do is they'll overtalk. And one of the hardest things to do is to sit back and to let people go. And so we talk about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Hey, how's the family? Good, good, good. How's work? Good, good. Yeah. And always put it back on them. I've learned through listening to lots of different podcasters and radio hosts, people call all the time. They're like, oh my God, I'm a first time caller. It's so good to talk to you. I've been listening for 35 years. And the guy's going, hey man, I'm up against a commercial break. Shut up. Right. And they do it in a nice way. And they do it really quickly. They're like, that's awesome. I'm super glad you're here. How can I help? And it turns it right back on them. Right. And lets them talk. Right. And so that's a true thing. Right. If you've ever listened to this, you'll start hearing it now on podcasts. You'll start hearing it on the radio shows. And they're like, oh, first time caller. I'm so glad I've been listening for 20 years. They're like, yep, hold on. Shut up. Shut up. I got a commercial break in 20 seconds. How can I help? And they're saying shut up, but they're doing it in a nice way, which is like, that's awesome. Thank you. How can I help? Well, I'm calling because of this, right? It is Dave Ramsey. Well done, whoever that was. Yeah, that's exactly who it is. And that's exactly what Dave means. Dave's in Nashville. And so that's that's what he does. How's it going? How can I help? Which means shut up. I got a commercial break. I got to pay for Xander insurance. So so all that to say, that's what they do, right? And asking more questions like, how's your family? Good. How's yours? Boom, go right back to it. Jason, if you're out there, no joke, one of our coaches years and years ago asked me one time, said, hey, how you doing? And this guy said, I'm doing really good. And I talked for 11 minutes. This guy, 11 minutes. And my coach and mentor at the time said, he said, Alex, shut up. And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, I said, hi, how are you? You've been talking for 11 minutes. He goes, let me tell you something. I don't really care. Now, some of you are like, wow, that guy's a jerk. And he is, but it didn't mean that he wasn't a good coach and mentor, right? It doesn't mean that he wasn't, a really powerful teacher and mentor and guide in my life. He wasn't a guide on kindness or generosity or some other things in life, right? And who he was. But it is very powerful to be like, dude, he's like, shut up, I don't care. He's like, this call's only 30 minutes and you just talked for a third of it. And so ever since then, I've been like, okay. I was like, I get it. So you go right back with, they're good. Everybody's good. Right? How about you? What's going on with y'all? Because what you're looking for is the McKay 66 to add to that. You're looking for the opportunity of something to change, the opportunity to do business, the opportunity to create great value in their life. And that's what you're looking for. So you got to put that right back on people, right? Going into that family, occupation, recreation, dreams. What are you dreaming about? Well, are you doing this? Yep, I'm doing that. Where are y'all going? Where's the first place you're going? Everybody on here, as the world is, as United States is opening back up, right? And we have more opportunities to go and do more things. Everyone has somewhere they're excited to go, right? We're sitting right here ready to talk about that. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, I am ready to. Boom, right? So you just have to sit there and go, hey, ask the question and be patient and listen, right? It's the 2-to-1 ratio, because the more you talk, I've got a super difficult client right now. He is super hyper detailed. And I just have to let him talk. And I want to fix it. I want to jump in and be like, hey, dude, like, it doesn't have to be that complicated. I got your back. You're way overthinking this. But he has to process it. So I just sit there and I let him go. And I say, yes, sir, and no, sir. And then when we get done, I'm like, so what I heard you say is you need me to do 1, 2, and 3. Is that right? Yes, that's what I need. Great. I'll be back in touch. And so sometimes people just have to do it. You have to stop and listen. Now, you can ask really good questions. You can ask questions to dig deeper, right? To dig deeper with them and tell me more about that. Because the reality is, when you do what we do in the relationship business, and when you're in the homes business and the service business, when you do that, digging deeper only deepens your relationship with them, and ask deeper questions. Because the reality is people tell you things that they think we need to know. But the reality is most of the time we got to go a little bit further, right? The reality is most of the time we got to really dig in. What's your price range? Well, a 350 to 550 with a 1.6 max top end, we need to dig in on that. Let's talk about that, right? Let's unpack that just a little bit more, right? So that's the real powerful piece. The same goes the other direction, right? When they say something that you know is not in line, you go, well, hold on, let's talk about this. The schools are really important. You said that in our initial consultation, but now you're sending me homes that aren't in the school district that you said you wanted to be in. Let's talk about that, right? That has something changed? Did I miss something? What's going on? Have we made a different choice? Are we going to a private school? Like, what's going on with that, right? Nashville is really particular for that. As people find, the first thing they do is they Google schools, and they find a particular market, and they hear, oh, this school system is the one. It's the best. And so everyone starts their conversation in there. But then when they start to layer the other pieces on it, the price, the acreage, the commute times, the style of home, the distance to the airport, the distance to downtown, all of a sudden those other factors change that, right? That's one factor, right? There's 10 to 20 factors in a home purchase, right? It's not just those things. And that's why it's complicated. That's why we get paid so well. It's because we've got to juggle, these 20 different factors and be this emotional guide to people in this. Yeah. So that's good. You like that? Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Yeah. It's the hardest one. This is one of the hardest things to master, right? Over time is having those conversations, staying in relationship, asking them, how you doing? Everything's good. Everything's good. Okay. But is it always good? Right? There's a big default right now. What does everyone say? Hey, how you doing? What's the immediate response? It's one word. It's 4 letters. Everyone says it. We have another pandemic. Good. Yep. That's good. There's another one I'm looking for. Everyone's good. Fine. Yep. There's still another one I'm looking for. Cool. Okay. Still not found it. Living the dream. That's a KW one. Surviving. I love that one. Yep. Thanks for jumping in there. So the one that I get most often, or the one that I was looking for, oh, great. No. The one that I get right now is busy. Like that is a default answer, right? Let's get out of default, right? Let's break through default. Really? What's going on? Why are you so busy? What's going on with that? Everyone loves to be, we have this busyness. All of a sudden, busy is valuable. Oh my God, I'm so busy. Really? If we put a GoPro on your chest and walked around with you for 12 hours, how busy are you? Are you really? Are you really? If we're going to watch, we put that GoPro and we're walking around, we put a, camera on you. How busy are you? But everyone wants, there's this busyness, and that's the answer. Oh, busy, so busy. Really? So fight through that. Gosh, what are you working on? Let's talk about it. What are you into? Oh man, this and that. And so that's get into it. Well, I've got this special project, or we're doing this. All of a sudden the house is destroyed. We thought we could do a tile bathroom in one of our bathrooms. Now the kids are coming in our bathroom all the time. It's terrible. That's opportunity, y'all. Right? That's an opportunity to refer your tile guy. It's an opportunity to refer the bathroom guy. It's an opportunity to refer a plumber. Man, I've got an amazing bathroom remodel guy. I would be happy to make sure he calls you today. Would that be okay? Oh my God, that would be so great. It's such a pain, right? I'm so busy. I don't even have time to cut the grass. Oh my gosh. I got the grass guy. Do you want me to have him come this afternoon or tomorrow? What number's best for you? Right? I'll give him that number. Thanks. Done. That's a big time value add. One of the questions when you're doing all these calls, when you're doing the D2D, when you're calling people, what's the thing that's frustrating you the most at your house, right? What's the thing that frustrates you most? When your tires hit the driveway, what is it that you go, oh, I hate those garage doors. I got to call that chimney sweep. The HVAC is going to die. Whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but it's something Every one of us on this call right now, every one of us went, oh my God, it's that thing, right? Right now in Alex Brandau's house, it's this stupid high def camera that's not working, right? That I was teed up and ready to go and it killed me. And so here we are. But never mind, we adapt and overcome, right? That doesn't change the content. It doesn't change the energy. It doesn't change the opportunity that we have together today, right? Next, turn the page, get it done. Now, so that's the same thing, the same opportunity that we have to share is to jump right into this and go right back at clients and go, hey, what is it that you need? Right? What is it that you need? How can I help you? Who can I make an introduction to? That's valuable. Just last night, someone was so over the moon because I introduced him to the guy that does outdoor lighting. And he goes, he has done an amazing job. And I can't wait to go home tonight because he set up the system and I get to come home to it tonight and see it all lit up. That's cool, right? That guy will not hit his house ever in the dark and not think about the guy that we connected them to do that, to do the uplights. Every time he comes home in the dark, he's going to remember that guy and he's going to remember us. That's pretty cool, right? That's powerful. That's real connection, right? So let's see what else. If you have any follow-up or specific thoughts, feel free to hit me in the chat. We're coming up on the Q&A part and the participatory part. So I really want you to jump in and you're welcome to unmute. You're also welcome to dreams, Roxanne, dreams. And so I do really like talking to you. If you want to unmute and talk live, you're welcome to do that. If you want to text, that's okay too, because you're still, you know, not whatever it may be. So let's go see. I talked about hardest to master, the script, connect to the people, don't go crazy. Yeah, don't go crazy when it's your turn to talk. Like I said, talking for 17 minutes, right? Like, or 11 minutes is what the guy said. So be careful with that. I have a question. Someone said, I've been in the business and I'm not getting the 12-2 return. Someone said they've been in the business for a long time and they weren't getting the 12-2 return. And I said, so what my advice to them was get out of your echo chamber. And what that means is they were doing this all by themselves and not getting the results, and they didn't have a partner to help them. And they didn't have a partner to guide them through this conversation. And so what I said is get out of your own echo chamber, get into a conversation with an accountability partner or someone that has a different perspective than them, and to really jump in and to really get into conversation of what am I doing? Where's my opportunity to either close or to ask better questions or ask a different question. If you're continuing to ask the same question and it's not getting any answers, stop asking that question. Right? As I say, I have 4 children in my household and they're like, it hurts when I do this. I'm like, does it hurt when you don't do that? And they said, no. I said, well, cool, don't do that. Like, quit, right? And so when you go through it, like, stop it, stop asking that question. We keep doing it. It's either the way we're saying it or it's who we're saying it to or the time of day or something, right? But let's pivot what we're saying. Don't continue to do the same thing. You do need to do that over time. But after 90 days or after 120 days, you need to be doing it with someone that has some perspective that can really help and can really give you some great feedback and guidance on this. Yeah. So that's one of the big pieces there. So someone else said in a question, most effective call to action. Be careful with that because so one of the things someone was talking about a great script to close. How do you close? And it's always that same one. It's that, how can I help? The close is, how can I help? What's going on? What are you doing? You don't know what happened 30 seconds before people got on the phone call with you. And so you just don't know where they are. And so what I would say to you is be mindful of, hey, how's it going? How can I help you? You never know who it is. You're not going to be super enthusiastic about someone saying, hey, one of my parents just died and I've got to sell their home. You don't meet that with awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Of course you're grateful and you're going to be helpful in that moment, but you're going to need some tact and some structure. You don't know what happened 30 seconds before they got on that call with you, right? You don't know where they are, or who they are, or what's going on in their life. So we got to check in on that. How's it going? Where are you today? What are you doing? That's great. 2 quick business questions. Is it good? No, it's not good. Okay. I'll call you another time. Bye. Right? people, I love it when people answer the phone and they're like, hey, I'm on another call. And I'm like, well, okay. You answered this call. So I figured you want to talk to me and you don't want to be on the other one. And I'm like, okay, you're on the call. Do you want to talk to me or do you want to call me back? You're in charge. You choose. You tell me which best. But you just never know. So that's an interesting part of this, right? To go through. Be careful of intentional scripts, because scripts are important to discover things with folks. If you're too scripted, it can also be impersonal. So don't hear me talking out of both sides of my mouth, right? I don't mean to be confusing, and I don't mean to be saying one thing and confusing it. I am saying use scripts because they work. They're there for specific reason to uncover specific opportunities for us to be in business and to help people. And you can use scripts that sound entirely too impersonal, like you don't know them at all, right? How are things? How's the family? Right? Well, actually getting ready to go through a divorce. Wow. Super sorry. That's terrible. Let's talk about that. Right? How can I help? What's going on? So sorry. Do you want to talk? Do you not want to talk? Whatever. Right? So it's different. It's a different piece to that. I want to tell you one more thing before we go, because it's another thing that we talk about always, about how to grow. We've talked about our database here and your volume, and wherever you may be in your journey and whatever you need. Again, that calculation on the database is a very powerful tool. Be sure to talk with your team leader. Be sure to talk to some agents that have been through that and calculate how much your database is worth. I can't stress that enough. Is one of the best things I did in all of 2020 was actually going through, and it really empowered me that actually I don't need any more people. I need to talk to the people that I know, like, and trust, and that refer me more. And so that's what really pivoted us into this D2D and this passion around, database, and why we're really spending time with you guys, and other people all over the country, to have this impact. Cool. So that's where we are. And that's what really got us there. My database, by the way, just so you know, had over 15 million gross commission income and opportunity annually. That was the aha. Let me assure you, I'm not making that money. Okay. Let me assure you, we're not making those dollars. And it really super motivated me. I'm like, okay, here we go. It's right here. This is not difficult. So we can get there. So I just hope that really inspires you, right, to figure out how many it is. And it doesn't matter if it's 50, if it's 200, if it's 2,000, if it's 20,000. It does matter if it's that big, because it's too many. You can't really be in relationship with all those people. Yeah, it's nice. So let me tell you, in case anyone needs to go, I am going to stay with you until, to answer all the questions that we can. But I do want you to know our stuff and our contact info. And one of my favorite things to connect with is on Instagram. And I'm, just my name, Alexander Brandau, and then partners behind it. You'll see it. It's got this face on there, actually from France. And I would love it if you would be in there and stay in touch with me. As far as when you connect with people, I don't know about you guys, but I find, our KW culture is a lot on Instagram and Facebook. And when people are asking for referrals and networks and introductions, it's an easy way to do it. Because in a couple of weeks, as much as I've enjoyed this and as powerful as it's been, you'll forget me. And I hate that. But you will remember that little bow tie guy in Tennessee somewhere. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, I got to make that introduction to him. And if we're connected on Instagram, you can look that up, and Tennessee and bow tie, and all of a sudden, here we are. So that's a powerful way to stay connected. If you'd like to be, please feel free in the chat. I'll save the chat here and be happy to add you to our agent network. And what we do with our agent network newsletter, that's part of our business too. Over 30% of our business last year came from our agent network, other agents we know, love, and trust, referring their friends and folks to us. And I'm not talking about the Facebook mafia, where people are like raving fans and that stuff. I'm talking about a direct referral where I was like, hey Paul, this is Alex, I'm sending you this guy. I didn't send 6 people to him or send them to 6 different agents. It's one and done. that can be a very powerful thing and is a powerful thing in our company. And so what we do is we send that to Stay in Touch twice a month, and we share all kinds of things. We share all kinds of fun and interesting things that are working well, that are talking to our clients, good articles that we used for our newsletter that we sent to our entire database every single week, our client database. And so a good article that got really good returns, we'll share that with you so you could take it and use it in your world. We talk about business planning things and 411s and pens that we really like and are using in the studio that we've done here in this build out, and the mics and all this cool stuff, and really fun agent based stuff. And it's a nice way to stay in touch and connected, and to help our world know. So if you'd like to know that, please let us know. Put your email in the chat. We'll happily include you. Like I say, I'd love your feedback on that. We're really intentional. We actually curate every bit of it. We love doing classes and opportunities with you guys just like this. So I'm thrilled to share the time, but I'd really like to hear from you. As we said at the end, we went through the things that we at the beginning. Now that we're towards the end, I'd love to hear something that you all starred, that you actually went through and put through. Like, I starred this. This was awesome. This hit a tuning fork in my soul, and was really, really powerful for us. And again, if you need to go, I know this has been an hour and a half. I will sit with you until we get off. We'll keep talking, and we can go anywhere you want. As you're filling the chat here with your emails and stuff, thanks for that. Excited to stay in touch with you. I will tell you one more thing on team building and as you grow. My personal thoughts is that you cannot, you have a capacity, and as you build teams, you are always a team, right? You are always a team at any point in your time, even if you're a solo agent or a new agent. Your team consists of your vendors. And your vendors, from 0 to approximately 30, 35 transactions, are your vendors. How can they help? Your closing, your closing attorney, your insurance agent, your mortgage, get a referral, your title company, or your home inspector. You have a team and a fleet of people around you. So change that language, right? You have a team of professionals that are around you that help you be successful, and you can leverage them, right? They don't need to just send you referrals. They can help you. They can give you capacity, right? You can store your closing gifts at the closing company, right? So you don't have to go get it and bring it and chase. I mean, that loses time throughout your day anyway, right? You can go buy whatever your closing gift is. If you do closing gifts, you can have that and have it stored. Can we store these here? They'd be happy to do that for you, right? Some of them might even buy it for you, would make you even more profitable. And that was something we didn't really get into about profitability and things like this. We could talk about that another day, but today, that was what today was about. The next step, there's another thing that people make a mistake on, is they actually mishire. And the mishire that people make is actually going through and they hire a buyer's agent first, and they want to replace themselves first because they get busy, right? People get busy. I'm still trying to get the high def cam to come back on. Maybe for the last bit, we'll get it to go. But the reason we talk about that is, I'm sorry, I talked about the camera and I lost my train of thought.
Talking about they replace themselves. by
Yeah.
agent.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I was on a good path there. I just was playing with my toys in the studio. So, so what you do there is people want to replace themselves first. Often you will see people make their first hire by it being a buyer's agent, and they want to replace themselves first. And that is a mistake. Why? Because you're the reason you're successful. You need leverage so you can do more of what you do. So you can build deeper, more personal relationships. And so there's a model out there, and this is not mine. Gene Rivers teaches this and is fabulous at this. And it's one of my favorite models I've ever seen, is that a 4-person team should be able to do 100 transactions. And the first 2 hires are both admin, and the last hire is the buyer's agent, and operational and capacity. So when that next hire, when you start getting in that 30 to 40 range, you hire your first, leverage and admin that really helps you. And then you hire second admin to really help and really accelerate. And that team, at 2 people should easily get to, that 40 to 60 range, depending on your price point, depending on your service, your value proposition, your services that you're really giving. And then that third takes you up into that 60 to 75 range. And then over the top, that's last 20, come from a buyer's agent that's in business with you. And that super tight, profitable model and team absolutely and easily should be able, to hit those numbers, stay super profitable, super manageable. You don't have to be a team of 87 people, right? That didn't happen overnight. They started somewhere. So know that's a key piece. And everyone's scared of making that hire, and everyone's scared. If you have 2 to 3 months of their salary, that's fine. That's what it is. That's what you've got, and that's enough. So, okay, well, let's jump into ahas and the things that we really are going to take forward. I thank you all for putting your all stuff in here. So let's see, I'm going back up. So someone said, Sam said, I don't have my license yet. 3 days since I've received, 3 days since I've received, I don't have one yet. Oh, 3 days since you received your license. So dude, you have amazing, let me tell you this. This is another big thing that drives me crazy. Realtors love to just copy each other, and we don't really know why, right? You see, oh, that's a really super cool post, and we go do this. Sam, I promise you, if I find this that you do this on Facebook, I will come to Florida and we're going to fight. I mean, I see your pirate flag. Maybe I don't want to fight you, but we're going to have words. Okay. You're not that bad of a dude. You got Baby Yoda in the background, right? So Grogu is a good dude. So what I'll say is this. Don't do this post. Hey, everybody, I've joined Keller Williams. It's really great. I'm here for all your referrals. That is a huge mistake, right? Who is that about? That's about us. That's about the person, right? It's like, hey, guys, that is not going to get you any business. I promise you. And I see people do it all the time. And it's a huge mistake. I don't know anyone that's ever done that and ever gotten real leads. So don't do that. Sam, you have an amazing opportunity for the next 90 days to go through. You have awesome peer pressure that everyone will call you back. You can go, hey, it's Sam. Listen, I have some big news. Call me back. And hang up. Now, I promise you, you're going to get calls back because curiosity killed the cat. It will literally, they cannot stand it, right? You're going to literally, they're going, oh my God, what's up? He's going to tell me that he bought a pirate ship. He's going to tell me that he has, a bobblehead Grogu that's like $500 because they took him off the market because they're so controversial. I mean, all these things. I'm freaking you out that I knew that stuff about Grogu, huh? Right? Don't judge the bow tie. You never know. You never know what's behind a bow tie. But I know all that stuff. And the point that I'm telling you is if you jump in there, man, and you really have that conversation, I have exciting news. And you go right into this. I have to tell you something. Can we talk business? Yes, we can. Fantastic. Listen. I've joined Keller Williams and I'm in real estate. I need to spend 15 minutes with you and talk about you and your plans. When can we get together? Boom. Like mic drop, right? I'm not going to drop my mic. It's nice and expensive. So we're not dropping this. All right. We're in Nashville. We don't really drop the mics. So, it's on a holder anyway. So my point is, you're going to get those calls. Can we get together? Man, I don't need to buy or sell real estate right now. Fantastic. That's not what I want to meet. I want to get together with you and hear about what you liked and what you didn't like and what your plans are. Let's go to coffee. By the way, don't go to lunch. Go to coffee because it's cheap, right? I know someone's going to say it's $3 for Starbucks. Fine. You go to the gas station and it's 75 cents. But if you go to Starbucks, right, it's inexpensive for the opportunity that we have. Right? The opportunity to have coffee, to go see them, to pay for that, to get face-to-face and make it about them, right? Make it about them. Tell me about your search. They're going to naturally respond back. Tell me about you. How can I help you? Man, just keep me in mind, right? I'm finding, I talked to this guy. He said, when we have these conversations, you can find somebody quite quickly. So please keep me in mind in the next week. I hope you run into somebody that needs to buy or sell real estate. That's what I'm looking for. How do I get in touch with them? Right? So do that, man. Do not, y'all hold him accountable. Do not let him do that silly post. Okay. So, or anyone else, right? That's a silly post. And if there's a productivity coach, by the way, that does that and says we should do it, I'm super sorry, but I don't believe in it. And I don't believe it works. I think they'll be more on board with us building this, and showing how we're doing it, because the call really drives people crazy. They're like, oh my God, are you okay? Can I help you? What's going on? And they want to hear from you, like, yeah, I'm good, but I have some super exciting news. Can we talk business? Great. Two things. I've gone into real estate. I'm no longer a pirate. And now I need your help, and I want to get together with you and talk about your search, talk about your plans. How about your personal house? How about investment property? How about vacation property? How about business? Who do you know that buys primary houses? Who do you know that's going to sell houses? Who do you know that buys investment property? Who do you know that loves to own vacation rentals? Who do you know that's going to buy or sell business, commercial real estate, right? It is absolute rocket fuel. The only thing that's keeping y'all from doing that is choosing it. Okay. All right. Sorry, I got excited about that. I'm really super passionate about that, if you can tell. So good luck. Keep me informed, right? I hope. Let's see. I'm looking back. Sam, did you put your stuff in here? We'll see if we did. I don't know if he did or didn't. Sam doesn't want to stay in touch, so he didn't put his name in the chat. A little peer pressure there, buddy. No problem. Good job. Okay. Somebody said, oh, there you are. Go ahead.
Yeah, my email's in there.
Oh, okay, good. Never mind.
But I did have a question about the 12-2.
Come on.
Clarification.
Come on.
Oh, the question was, I know the 51 was, if you don't know 50 people, you get in touch with 50 people that you don't know. But what was the 12-2 that I didn't catch that?
Yeah, it's no problem. Thanks for asking. 12-2 is you call 12 people that know you, like you, and trust you, right? It can be people from church, work, school, wherever. People that know you, like you, and trust you, and have the conversation with them. Hey, I've got 2 quick questions for you. I want to talk business. Having that conversation and saying, hey, I want to have real conversation with you about business. That's where the 2 things show up, and it's either something they need or someone they know. So that's the 12-2, right? That's the clarifier, is they come out with, hey, I want to, I'm going to buy an investment property. I'm going to buy a vacation rental. I'm selling my house, or the other way, I know someone who wants to buy vacation rentals. I know someone that's going to sell some real estate, sell a commercial building. And again, I tell you, the biggest commission check that I'm aware of in residential real estate was over $2.5 million. And it was on a commercial lease. And all the man does is stone cold 4 hours a day, cold call. He just grinds. And he's a wonderful man. And I really don't understand why he does it, but he's gotten a $2.5 million commission check and I haven't. So, I mean, he wins, right? I mean, he wins in that regard. I couldn't do that for who I am and the business that I want to run. That's not a good fit for me, right? I'm much better face-to-face, belly-to-belly, and that kind of stuff. So 12-2, people know you, like you, trust you, and you got to find it. Again, the most important thing, Sam, and anyone else that's learning this, is don't miss the opportunity. Don't miss that it's, I know somebody. That's the opportunity, right? I know someone. Who do you know right now? Is anyone on the call that doesn't know someone who invests in real estate? If you do, unmute, raise your hand, or say, I don't know anyone that invests in real estate, right? Every one of you right now, real trigger went to someone in your brain. Your mental Rolodex just went and went to somebody, right? That's a real thing, right? It went to a real person. I can do it again. Watch this. You see those magicians do all those math numbers? I should really add that to the talk, and that'd be really cool. I don't know how to do that, but right now, I can promise you, every one of you is going to think about somebody that has a super nice watch. Who do you know that has a really nice watch? Patek, Omega, Rolex, right? Watch people will fuss about some of those that really nice watch people don't think Rolexes are nice. They're nice, but watch people get all fussy about that, right? Every one of you thought of someone, right? Thought of someone. That's the thing, right? You're jogging people's memory, and you're bringing that forward. You're bringing that prospecting to them. So when you're doing that call, Sam, you go to them and like, hey, who do you know? Are you going to invest in real estate? Nope, never. I'm never going to invest in real estate. Really? Why? Well, let me tell you why. I had a family member that lost everything and is in jail because of da 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 da. Cool. That's a big point for your McKay 66. Never going to buy investment property. Right? Okay. Sounds good. What about your business? Oh, I'm always going to own business property because I'm never going to own rental property, right? Residential rental property, so you just never know, right? So whatever. See, somebody said, boom. See, Michael popped in there and says, Joe Williams, where's the Timex? Awesome. Fine. Like, no. What it did, the point is, it made you think of somebody, right? Somebody that does that. You could think about it. Do you know someone who flies private, right? Who flies private? If you fly private, right, you probably are going to go through, that's one of the things, right? That's what you're pulling out. That's what we're fighting for there, is that aha to pull that person out. Who's going to invest in property? Who invests in property all the time, right? That's what you're looking to do. You're doing those memory joggers and pulling that forward. Who is it that that, I don't know, whatever. It can be anything that's a good match for you, right? So who do you know that watches Mandalorian? Let's talk about Mandalorian, right? Because that's a cool show. If you don't talk about Mandalorian and you don't know what we're talking about, then you don't know who Grogu is, right? You for sure don't know what the bobblehead's all about. So, that's a whole different thing. Anyway, you get where I'm going. Let's see, where else did we go? I like the way you asked the question, what are your real estate plans this year? Perfect. So that's a great nugget, right? But again, what's important to me for you all that you stayed with me this time is take your 2 or 3 things that you will actually start doing, right? So take that. That's awesome, Nancy, that was powerful. Make sure that you're going to start doing that. Keep a scorecard right now that you're going to track in your D2D. Did I ask? What are your real estate plans? Because what will happen is if you don't track it, something else will pop up. So I'm super committed and behind that. I have a scorecard every single week that I get graded on, right? In my household and in my business. And did I do enough, right? My goal is to have these 50 talk tos. How many did I do? When I started doing the scorecard, I did like 4. And then the next week we went to 14. And the week after that, we went to 18. And all of a sudden it got a little bit more. And so we changed the culture small bits at a time. Don't let it be so big that it paralyzes you from doing anything. Yeah. Get into doing it. I don't care how much it is. Do it right now. Do it right now. There's another great book that I love. That's the 5-second rule. If you haven't listened to that or don't know that, it's a fabulous book. It talks about we have over 10,000 thoughts a day and over 10,000 thoughts a day, but we don't act on almost any of them. And you have to take action. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take action. You have to count down to it and launch. And Mel Robbins is the author. She has a ton of good podcasts out there. She's on lots of good podcasts. The book's spectacular, but I just gave you the summary that it's count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get into action. And so we just do it right now. Like, don't think about, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the bathroom and then I'm going to come back and then I'm going to write it down. No, pick the 3 things right now before we get off and that you're going to do and that you're going to follow up, and stay in touch, right? Hopefully that's the powerful piece, because otherwise it just ends up in the smart corner, right? It ends up in the smart corner, and I'm happy to be in the smart corner with all the other people that you've listened to this year. But just know that this is for you, and take that and really make it applicable to you, whatever this is. Anyone else want to share real quickly something that they took away or one of their things that they're going to
I will real quick, Alex. I want to check out your path to luxury. So let me know when you're teaching that in our market or where you're teaching it.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, the number of clients that will use the same realtor, but how many actually do. I think we're going to add, we're going to add that to our questionnaire, along with what's the best way to stay in touch with you. Because they'll tell you what they want from you.
They will. They really will. And if you get in there and really ask them, what, you just have to ask. I think that's the key thing. Ask great questions. Sales is great questions, right? Great questions. And we just add and build and build and build on top of this. I love telling that story about the what's the most you'll spend, because it's funny. And I'm self-deprecating, like I don't have a problem with that at all. But it's funny that I missed it for 2 years. And I'm telling y'all, 50% of the time, the range is, well, we're looking 750 to 200. What's the most you'll spend? 2 million. What the hell? Like, that's not the same thing. It's 4 times the budget. Like, wow, really? Okay. I mean, and I'm a highly logical person, right? And because we're in such an emotional space, like I work to be the emotional neutral, because if I'm emotional, that doesn't help, right? Be the guide. Be the guide on this adventure. It's their adventure, right? It's their boat. You're just guiding them through, this turbulence and this rough water. So I really, really love that, that analogy of being the guide in the adventure. So what else? Someone else want to share?
Alex, I was curious on when you're asking that question, how much you will spend. I think mine was the other way, because I think people are saying they would spend more than they're qualified for. I usually ask the question, have you had a chance to speak with a lender, not just flat out, are you pre-approved, but I ask questions around that. But I feel like I kind of got burned last week, and it was just an aha when you said that's on me, because I had a $550,000 buyer and I found them exactly what they wanted. And we went there 8 a.m. on Mother's Day, and then we're all ready to write the offer. And he says, yeah, I'm going to write a 500, and I was kind of like, wow, I did the buyer questionnaire with him. And I said, now I'm curious where we're getting the 500. I started asking questions about, where are we getting the 500, and should we look at the difference between a 500 and a 550 purchase? And, as there's another offer coming in, so we'll be in competition, and, reminding him of the market. And he said, no, I've never had any intention of ever spending over 500 ever. So I was shocked, because I had just thought, wow, well, he's 550 approval. And I just went about, and of course we wrote the offer, and then the agent was upset with me. Like, why would you send me a 500? And I said to the agent, well, because I have to, because that's, I asked questions. That's what they wanted to write. But that hit me, because I thought, gosh, if I would have asked that question, I would have saved. I mean, we still wouldn't have bought the property, but at least I wouldn't have shown him a 550 property on Sunday morning for, Mother's Day morning. That was everything he described and more.
Yep. I mean, shame on us, right?
Yes.
This is not what we're here to talk about, but I had clients, no joke, y'all, got in a fight with a listing agent in a $2.5 million house in Nashville. And again, to your point, like, I'll spare you all the drama, but it was drama for no reason. And the drama was over something dumb, but it was my fault. At the end of the day, it was my fault, because I knew my client, and I knew the listing agent, and I knew enough that there was going to be turbulence, and I should have done a better job as their guide on this adventure. I should have done a better job. But y'all, like, no joke, it was so bad. I was like, y'all go out the back door. I'll talk to you later. You come here. Like, I mean, it was that bad. And again, the thing to take away there, right, is to always take away that we can get better. How can we do this better? How can we give our client, how can we put our clients in more perspective? Candidly, to my own, I was in a hurry. They wanted to see it last minute. I got them worked in. I was excited to be on site. I was being buddy, right? I was, hey, buddy, let's be buddies. And I should have gone, ugh, he's kind of rude. She's super overbearing, and this isn't going to work, right? Like, he's going to say, go away. And he did. And the guy's wife was, this is several weeks ago, months ago, as vaccines were coming out. And the client, my client, is a high risk client, and the agent wasn't wearing a mask and was in the house, and it was explosive, right? It's just a tender thing, and you just never know. And so he popped off on her, and it wasn't as nice as he could have been, right? We should have been, excuse me, do you mind? My wife, no problem, right? But he attacked her. She got defensive. She attacked both of them. I mean, it was terrible. So anyway, it's a good story to tell here, but it was terrible professionally, right? And I just took it on the chin. And for you, the same thing. Like, let's ask the questions. Don't be scared to ask the questions, y'all, right? Like, that's what this is about. Get in here, ask the questions, right? Get in there and ask the real questions. Find out, get real value, and do that, right? What do you intend to spend? What do you mean? Well, it matters because I don't want to assume, oh, well, we can spend da da da. Okay, well, I didn't know. Excuse me, I didn't know. I just want to be professional and ask. And that can be a differentiator. You might earn a deal because of that. Yeah. So anyway, who else? Someone else. Let's have two more. Oh, somebody definitely didn't want to talk. Oh, that was Paul. Okay. How about one more? One more we've got before to stay on time. Somebody is definitely thinking, "Oh, I don't want to share." Yes, you do. 2 more seconds. No. Cool. Oh, I heard somebody click in.
Alex, I was just curious, do you keep your database in command?
Yeah, we do
Okay.
actually. We keep
Okay.
ours in command. It's been a journey. If I'm being totally honest, like I say, I'm out here on my own on purpose. I'm not here sponsored by Maps. I'm not here sponsored by KW or technology or any of that stuff. Not even not getting paid. I'm doing it to be in relationship with you guys. We use command, and I'll tell you why. Like, one, it's there. Two, I believe at the end of the day, we're paying for it, right? I mean, not paying for it, but it's a value add for us. And I think at the end of the day, it's the most robust and actually authentic to our business, right? At the end of the day, the intent is for it to be as robust as possible. Does it have issues? For sure. And does everything? Yeah. Like, all of them have issues. So yeah, that's my nugget on that piece is, that doesn't bother me one bit that all of them have issues, so anyway, yeah, we do it in there, and there's some cool pieces to that, right? Some of the follow-up is really nice. Some of the add-ons are really nice that go in there too. So we just did it. We made the migration. We're there, and we're happy with it. Also because it keeps us profitable. I didn't get into that part of the conversation, but we're one of the more profitable companies because of this, in all of KW. We're in the high 70s. We were at 78% profitable last year. So, ladies and gentlemen, closing thoughts. Anything on grid, off grid, relevant to today or otherwise?
Great class. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank Paul and Warren. They were the reason that I'm here, and I'm honored to be with you. And I'm honored you spent some time with me. And if I can help you in any way, I really do want to be a connector. And listen, do we know people in your market? For sure, but we can find a niche to work on together and stay in contact. So I really hope that we stay together here because of this, and follow me on Instagram and all that. And I hope to see you sometime at a conference somewhere in the world, and on our journey. But thanks for all you do. And if I can help you in any way, I'm here. Don't hesitate. And I really mean that. So it's my pleasure, and y'all have a great week and be successful.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, my camera, but whatever. This is good enough, right? I'm not this red in the face. Like, I'm not sunburned or anything. So, all right, y'all. Talk to you soon.